my seeing eyes back on again. There we go. Hi everyone, it's Mike here and welcome back to my YouTube channel. So it's time, can you believe it, already for February's mission inspiration. I know, what happened to January? It's just gone past in a flash. So anyway, let me turn over to my camera over there. I'll show you the prompts for the mission inspiration challenge for February, and then I'll get cracking on my page based on those prompts. Okay, so this is the prompt sheet for February. So we've got scrape or smear paint across the page, make marks with a comb or brush, add fragments of torn newspaper, draw a whimsical animal, that one's going to be fun, add a single focal word, add paint through a stencil, add white highlights or splashes, and then create a border from washi tape. Obviously you can do those in any order that you like. And your 5 words for inspiration are going to be mirror, scraps, sunshine, eat and dance. There we go. So I kind of like to do these in the order that they're listed on there, but you don't really have to if you don't want to. If you want to add your fragments of torn newspaper first, before scraping or smearing paint across your page, fine, do it. Which is what I'm going to do today. So I'm going to keep this handy because I've got a pencil here, look. What I'll do is I'm going to just tick them off when I do each one. But if you want to do your page just using 1 or 2 of these prompts, that's fine as well, or any one of those 8. It's entirely up to you. You can do all 8 or any number of those 8. As long as you're inspired to do something based on what you see here, then it's a win. Okay, so let me just pop this to one side for a second. Add fragments of torn newspaper. I don't buy newspapers. I don't read newspapers because I don't particularly want to see what's going on in the world. I want to know what's going on in the world because, you know, it's just all too depressing. I get what I need to know from the sources that I trust, but I don't read newspapers, so I don't particularly buy them. So what I've got is I've actually got a scan of an old newspaper. So this one is from, it says the Derby Gazette, and it's dated from December the 18th, 1863. It's not a real one, it's just a scan. So I'm going to use fragments of that. So I'm going to tear some of these up, and I think I'm going to do torn fragments coming down the page, like, no, I can never remember which way is right, like stalactites, I think, come from the ceiling, whereas the stalagmites come from the bottom. I don't know. I'm not a geologist. So first of all, let's just get some of those. So torn fragments. Maybe have a little bit coming in from the side. Just down there like that bit, and then maybe a piece coming up from there, and then we'll have a piece maybe sitting in the middle like that. So I think we just need another piece over here coming in from the edge. So I'm just kind of hovering it over the page so I know kind of like when to stop. Maybe just another little fragment. Sorry, I should be doing this on camera, shouldn't I? I'm gravitating towards this side of my desk for a strange reason today. I think I know what it is. It's because my chair's at an angle. My chair is actually, I'm sitting on it sideways rather than front on. It's a bit stupid, isn't it? There we go. Perhaps I won't be tempted to do it now. Right, so what am I going to glue this down with? I think I'm going to glue this down with matte medium. Okay, so let's drop some of that. Look. There we go. And then brush, need some kitchen towel. Right, kitchen towel is just for drying off my brush. There we go. Right, let's get started. Now, I don't mind whether I get wrinkles, bubbles and whatnots. That's fine. Don't have an issue with that. So first of all, let's just get these glued into position. And I'm kind of keeping them so that the orientation of the writing is still the right way up. And that flappy noise you've just heard is Mr. Nipper just waking up. Hello, baby. Been out for a run in the park this morning, so he's a bit tired. He's curled up in the bed that we have in the office for the dogs. Oh, there's fragments of gold. I've got some gold leaf fragments on my worktop here. I don't know whether you can see just there, look, where the light's catching them, and the glue's picking them up. I did a little bit of a personal project about a week or so ago, a little piece of artwork for the kitchen downstairs that's got gold leaf on it, and it's stuck to the desk. Proper gold leaf, 22 carat gold leaf, which isn't as expensive as you think. Unless I've been sold not gold leaf on the premise of it being gold leaf, which is quite possible. Very, very possible indeed. But it did the job, so I was happy. Right, so I'm going just quickly over the page with the rest of the matte medium, just as a kind of sealant, but also it kind of acts a little bit like clear gesso, because you get that little bit of a barrier that allows you to be able to move the paint. There we go, at least the pages are sticking together. Bit of a bubble under that one, so let's just see if we can smooth that out. Okay, I think that will do. Right, I need to get a wet wipe. There we go. Just to clear that up. Some of that gold leaf is actually lifting off. It's worse than glitter for sticking, because you get static with gold leaf, and it sticks if there's a little bit of static. Right, heat gun. Am I switched on? I am. Okay, so next I'm going to go to number 1, scrape or smear paint across your page. Right, so I've got 6 new colours from Indigo Blue. These are colours that I've chosen and they've produced because I wanted some colours that were a bit more kind of heritagey. So I made my pitch to Indigo Blue and they said, yeah, okay, we'll do them. So these have just been released now as a set on the Indigo Blue website. I'm only pushing them because these are my colours. I chose them. So what I'm going to use today is I'm going to use the Terra Vert, which is a lovely kind of olivey green. I'm going to use Yellow Ochre, which is a lovely kind of warm yellow. And I'm going to just keep these other ones just to one side. In the set, there's also Red Oxide. There's Roman Purple. Purple, not my favourite colour, but it does have its place. Burnt Sienna. And Viridian Blue, which is beautiful. I love this blue. Depending on what you put it with and where it actually goes, it does go either blue or green, because you know, that's just the nature of the translucency, and they are translucent colours. So, mark making box. I might actually combine two birds with one stone here, because you've got number 2, which says make marks with a comb or brush. Yeah, so I've also got this catalyst pebble as well, that's got the lines in it, so that also will work as a comb. But I've also got these old room keys and old bank cards that are now expired, business account for Premier Inn, which is a hotel chain here in the UK, key card, and I've also got this compass card from when we were in San Diego last, which has now found a new home. There's also other things in here for mark making as well, so you've got a protractor that you can use for scraping and making marks and all that kind of stuff. So let's just use this key card for now, and I'm going to scrape some paint down. I'm going to use that Terra Vert earth green, in case you were wondering. Right, and you can tell it's brand new. Let's create a bit of space on the worktop. Give it a bit of a shake. Oh, look at that colour. It's gorgeous. And of course, not opening it properly, I've managed to get it on my fingers. There we go. The messy pup. Right, so let's take a little brush. What do I do with a kitchen roll? There we go. Put it on the floor to by my feet. Let's see if we can clear some of that paint down there from the lid. I shook it up because obviously there's binder in these paints, and like with most paints, if you leave them sitting for long enough they will separate, so it's always best to give them a shake. Do the same thing with like the Americana paints and that kind of stuff. Alright, so let's grab some paint onto the key card, as you can see, and then we can just start kind of organically scraping it down. And this is how you can build up some really nice kind of effects. Especially if you want to create some background papers or some backgrounds to use in your art journal pages. Cool. See, that green goes so well with that newspaper. Goes really, really well. Right, so let's just clear, get some wet wipes to hand. There we go. Just quickly give that a clean off. So while the paint is still wet, I'm going to bring in that catalyst tool. Actually, no, let's use the comb. Okay. Right, so we've got that. So that's the Terra Vert. Just give that a quick blast. Okay, so now I'm going to bring out that yellow ochre. I need to be careful because I know I have splodged this already, because I used this in a project about a week ago. There we go. And I'm going to bring that small, actually no, use a different paintbrush. There we go. A little bit bigger. That'll do. That will do. I need some water. I have a little spritz bottle. And now I'm just going to just add some of the yellow ochre into the background, just brushing it in, because that will just fill in the gaps. But because it's a translucent paint, you will still be able to see what's underneath. And it just adds a real kind of warm tone to the page. So even when you go over the green or the other colours, you can still see what's underneath. And even if you go over, you can darken, make them more intense, or just leave them light. Look at that. Lovely background. Just add a little bit of that yellow just to kind of complete it. Might just add a little bit more darkness down here. Another layer, which is probably going to get covered up a bit later on, but I like that. I like the colour a lot. Right, let me get that dried off, get tidied up, and then I'll be right back. Okay, so the page is dry now, so we've scraped or smeared paint across the page and we've made marks with a comb or brush. So that's 3 out of it. So before we go any further, let's just have a quick look to see what else we've got. Add white highlights or splashes. Yeah, so we can do splatters or add paint through a stencil. I think I'm going to add paint through a stencil next. Right, so the stencil I've chosen to use is a brand new design for me, and this is called Pointed. So this is a brand new stencil. You can tell I've already used it before. So this is available on my website now if you're interested in that one. And I'm going to grab some white gesso. So this is a particularly old tub of white gesso. And I need a sponge daub. Now I did have one. I saw it yesterday. There it is. It'll just be happening to be on the shelf. So let's grab some of that white gesso. Yeah, there's not a lot left in here, I don't think. Give it a really good shake, just to try and get some of it onto the lid. That's better. So work the gesso into the page. So what I want to do is just lightly just tap into there, lift that off. I'll have a little bit of that up there. I like dabbing through stencils rather than using a brush because I like the uneven kind of effect that it gives you. And then I'm going to twist this way, I think. We'll add a little bit down here at the bottom. So, like I said, this stencil is called Pointed for obvious reasons. That'll do. Nice bit of stenciling in the background. So again, let's get that cleared up and I'll be right back. Okay, so that's now dry. My pages are starting to curl a little bit, so I've just weighted them down with a couple of bulldog clips. So the next thing is, let's see, draw a whimsical animal. Right, okay. Now, drawing whimsical animals is not something you can just do kind of like on demand. So I can't just start sketching on here and drawing a whimsical animal. It's something you have to think or sit and think about, unless you've painted a space in the background and you know beforehand what you want to try and do. Because I knew that I needed to draw a whimsical animal on here, and I'm not that clever at drawing on demand, if you like, I sat and sketched quite a few kind of designs a couple of days ago, and then refined one. So this is what I came up with. So yeah, it's a kind of cross between a chicken and a rabbit. So, but I've just printed this on ordinary kind of printer paper. So what I want to do is I'm going to grab some alcohol inks. And I should have really printed it on colouring paper or colouring cardstock. Never really thought about that. So, but I'm going to have to just live with it for now because I can't redo it. So I'm just going to grab my pens. Here we go. So I've got 2 lots of alcohol pens. These Pro markers now from Letraset are my kind of favourites, my go-to favourite. I do have Copic markers, but not a huge selection. And I've had these for absolutely, I couldn't even tell you how long I've had these for. Years and years and years, so probably a lot of them have all dried up now. So what I want to do is let's grab some yellows, a couple of the kind of skin tones that I've got, greens, 2 because we've got greens in the background and yellows in the background, and I'm practically getting every single pen out that I've got. Look, there we go. I don't think there's any other. That's a beige colour, so I don't really need that. So actually, I'm just going to make do with the Pro markers, not the Copics, so they can go tickle. Right, so don't normally colour very often directly. Is there an orange one in there? There is an orange one in there. Yeah, don't normally colour on camera, so because I'm not brilliant at it. Let's start with a mustard. So, and this isn't really, I don't mind if I go outside the lines that way because I am going to be cutting it. Out. So let's just see how we go. So this is probably going to be a really boring process for everybody to watch, so I shall pop it onto fast forward and add some music, and I'll join with you when I finish colouring my chicken bunny. Okay, so I now need to cut out my little character. Just thinking, actually, while I was doing it, if I'd have probably used more yellows than greens, I could have probably made him look like a bumblebee. But there you go. Shoulda, woulda, coulda, and other such phrases. Right, so I'll just quickly, or maybe not quite so quickly, cut this little character out, my rabbit chicken. Okay, so that's that cut out. I didn't go too mad on the feet. I didn't really see the point. Just see if I can make that, those buttons, just sing a bit more. That'll do. So, right, on the subject of drawing whimsical characters, if you're not very good at drawing whimsical characters, can't draw, won't draw, anything like that, then just make up a whimsical character. There's nothing stopping you from sticking butterfly wings on a rabbit or a cat or on a dog, or dragonfly wings, or sticking chicken legs on a giraffe or anything like that. Just cut, just make a what's the word? A chimera, if you like. Just do what you want. Just make it weird. Just make it weird. Right, let's get that glued down. Now, hopefully, you can see all the ink has penetrated the back of the paper. That's fine. Hopefully it will not affect the alcohol ink. Desperately hoping it won't. The matte medium won't affect the alcohol ink. It shouldn't, because alcohol and water obviously are different. Because we've already put one coat and then the paint over the top, there should be enough of a barrier for us to be able to do that. So, right, let me just turn this over and let me see if I can just add, because I don't particularly want wrinkles. I knew that was going to curl over. Look at that straight away. Okay, let's see if we can get him stuck down. So yeah, I chose complementary colours for mine. So whatever colours you choose, whatever you want to put on for yours. There we go. That looks pretty damn good. Let's give that a quick clean up. And then dry it off, and then I'll be back. Okay, so characters now all dry, so we can tick drawing the whimsical animal. Right, so the next thing then we've either got to add a single focal word or add white highlights or splashes. So that's what adding white highlights and splashes is a fairly easy thing to do, but I think I'm going to add my whimsical, I'm going to add my word, my main social I can't even say the word now, a single focal word. There we go. Right, so that's black. Nice Posca pen in black, which is perfect. Again, and I'm going to do it, just change that around here. leave in a few kind of gaps. Because I want to, once it's dry, come back and just thicken up that writing. In fact, let's just do it now. Just load up the pen a little bit. So I can thicken the letters up. I'm hoping there's not too much glare. I can just twist the page round to get the best kind of angle. Hopefully. Loading the pen up a little bit. I don't want to get splodges everywhere or try and flood go. So we can thicken the letters up, get that dried off because it is paint. It's a Posca paint pen in black. So once it's dry, I'll just shake it up again. I actually think maybe that this might be running out a little bit because it's been used quite a lot. There we go. Let's come back in and add a little bit more. Just where you can see the page underneath. It might not have gone down perfectly. Here we go. Dry it off again. Okay, so it says also, if I can find one, there we go. So on that, so we've added a single focal word, but it also says add white highlights or splashes. So I'm going to do that by using another paint pen. This is a white paint marker this time. Ian bought me these for Christmas, and I thought they were absolutely fantastic when I first started using them. Just like all other paint markers, you have got to prime them, get the paint flowing, it's starting to come out now. Okay, so now I can come in and start adding in a few highlights. Probably not going to put these in the right places, so, but it doesn't really matter. I don't mind too much. There we go, sunshine. So what I am going to do, I know it says, well, it said add a single focal word, but I think I'm going to add a couple more. I'm just going to write in there, just small. Little ray of sunshine. But also with those white highlights or splashes, you can then start, if you want to, start adding some doodly dots in white just around the page. Just wherever it is you want to just lift the background a little. I just think they help just to create a little bit more kind of visual interest. Particularly when you've got a page that hasn't got too much on it. I'm not saying that this page doesn't have a lot on it. I'm just saying it does help a little bit. Okay, so with them being paint pens, they will need to dry. So let me just give them a quick blast and then I'll be back. Okay, so quickly back to the list then. So add white highlights or splashes, we've done that. So all we're left to do now, oh, and we've also used the word sunshine, there we go. Create a border from washi tape. Okay, so I've gone into my washi tape collection. I've found these couple of kind of brightish colours, which I think will make a nice border all the way around the page. Like so. I always trim it off later, but let's just add a little bit of contrast. And I think just need a little bit of grounding under the chicken bunny. So Stabilo all pencil. create a little bit of shadow, and then I can activate that with the brush, a little bit of water. Don't forget, this will lighten quite substantially. When it's dry. And then, did I date the last one? I did date the last one, so I shall do the same again. Let's see if I can find a pen. There is a pen here somewhere. Oh, let's use this little Japanese one. So it's 4th of February today, so let's just sign it over here for a change. So 4, 2, look, doesn't like writing on. Hey, that's better. So, final one, I'd say mission accomplished. So I hope you enjoyed watching me create my Mission Inspiration Art Journal page for February. If you did, please remember to give the video a thumbs up, because it really does help the channel. Share the video with your friends if you like, and if you haven't subscribed to my YouTube channel already, you can do so by clicking the button at the end of the video. And also, don't forget that there's a clickable URL link in the description area below. I forgot what it's called then. If you want to pop across to our Facebook group and join in the monthly art challenges there. So that's all from me for now. I'll see you all again very, very soon. Bye for now. I'd like to say a huge thank you to all of my angels, because without you, these videos would not be possible. And don't forget, you can access your exclusive angel-only content over on my website. There's a link in the description area below. Thank you.